The need to love and be loved begins at the moment of birth. That moment, we lose the embracing safety, the bliss of the mother's womb. We are born into the world alone, naked, and vulnerable. We survive only by connection to others. It doesn't take a poster-perfect, intact family, mom, dad, and 2.4 children to create a loving home. The Swann family of Maryland has faced separation and loss, but time and sacrifice have created the deep bond of connection and love.
Bless everyone at this table. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
We had never been apart, and I'm sure that I'm not the only parent who had children in Iraq felt that part of them was gone.
There's not no necessarily law that says you can't send siblings or all of one family's children into a danger zone all at the same time.
I began to realize that there was a very good possibility that my sons would not come back.
There you have it. Camera.
Growing up, we had so much fun in so many ways.
Y'all can build me a house, too.
We're twins. I'm the older twin. 5 minutes. I make a big deal out of it because I am his big brother.
From day one, I've always had trouble telling Brian and Ryan apart. I would dress one in red and one would be in blue, and then I would forget who had the blue on and who had the red on.
People can't tell us apart. However, my oldest brother, Henry, Trey, he's been able to do it since we were little. So he can tell us apart. I've never been able to fool Trey. Never. Which one is me? Which one is Ryan?
That's you. That's Ryan. It's too easy. Ryan gives you, like, I'm smarter than you, and you give the, I'm sexy. Come on, man. Growing up, it was hard because it wasn't a complete family like, you know, the Cosbys or anything like that. But we did make the best of our situation.
About 6 months after Brian and Ryan were born, I got divorced, became a single parent. And at that particular time, my mother moved to Prince George's County to help me with the boys and was very instrumental in helping me raise them.
At that time, my mom was teaching, and she had a part-time job. I remember my mom constantly being gone working, coming back home for a minute, getting dinner ready. She'd get in late, do the same thing over and over again. We watched her struggle for a long time.
Growing up in that household, Trey really played the big brother role. When my mother wasn't there, he was in charge of the household.
They looked up to me, and I would always have to make sure they were okay and take care of them. Growing up, I felt like they were mine, you know, so I made sure that they were on the straight and narrow and they didn't go have a hard time like I did, so.
He would tell us, hey, look, make sure you got A's in your classes. And no one can tell you anything. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, we got A's in every single class. But if you ask anybody, you know, we was in the hallways. We was, you know, if it's a party, if the twins wasn't at the party, it was not a party. Okay.
They broke records. They scored the 2 highest SATs of 2 African-American males in the region.
I would like to welcome you to the graduation of Largo's class of 1998. We as products of our families, community, and school have traveled a long journey.
It was a big thing. I mean, when they came out, they could have pretty much went to any school that they wanted to go to.
I remember exactly how it started. Marine Corps recruiter walked by, and he asked me if I was interested in being in the military and being in the Marine Corps. And I said no, but if I was to do it, I would want to do it with the best. And he said, well, do you feel challenged? And that kind of stuck with me because school has never really challenged us. I remember telling Brian, he was like, man, you are crazy. We are at the top of our class. We can go to any school in the country we want to. So then I started explaining to him more and more, and I actually convinced him.
He convinced me to go.
I convinced him to go.
They went into the Marines straight out of high school, and I saw the positive change that it made in their lives. And me, I was sort of at a standstill. I was still living at home with my mom. I went in and out of jobs. They set me down and they talked to me, and I decided to join.
My father was a World War II veteran. I believe in my country, and I was very proud that they had made a decision to join the military.
I joined the Army in October 2000. I swore in, and I'm obligated to do whatever they ask of me.
And then within a year's time, everything happened to the family. It started with my mother being killed.
76-year-old Mary McDonald was murdered in the shop she owned for 15 years. Now Ann Swann and her 3 sons must live their lives without their mother and grandmother.
I was totally out of control. Some individuals had gone in, attempted a robbery, killed my mother. From that point, things just started to spiral. Henry got notice to go to Iraq.
Right after we buried my grandmother, I think I had 2 more weeks with my family. After that, I was gone. For a while, I didn't have any communication with my brothers or my mom.
Then 3 months after that, we got deployed. Me and Brian got deployed to Iraq. We were at Al-Assad, 40 miles west of Baghdad.
When they left, I actually had a physical pain in my heart that I felt every day. I had never in my entire life been alone until they all left.
My unit didn't actually live in a battle zone, but when we went into Iraq, we got attacked. You could actually feel the bullets flying past you through the wind. At this time, what's going through in my mind that I might not make it home.
We were in the same unit. Our base was attacked quite a bit while we were there. And they would shoot the rockets from miles away over the perimeter right in the middle of the base. They would come feet from where we're sleeping at night, and you learn to live with fear, you know? I'm on night crew and he's on day crew. You know, he was worrying about me and I was worrying about him.
I knew they were getting attacked on a daily basis. I would have did 2-3 years over there to prevent them from going. I wanted them to stay here with Mom.
I just remember worrying a lot. You know, how is she doing? Is she safe? Because she was used to having all of us around her all the time.
It was very, very difficult, but I know that I was not the only parent going through that. They love my fried fish. This is their favorite meal. Christmas, I cooked and they weren't here, and I fixed their favorite things anyway. Henry was the first one to come home. I'll never forget when the bus rolled in Annapolis, and I think I felt like a racehorse because I left everybody behind me. I was like, I'm gonna hug my son.
We were there for about 10 months. We were back in the country the end of March 2005.
I was just so happy to see them. They're laughing and playing, so I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay, they're finally home. So I felt like, you know, my heart was back with me.
And I just remember just feeling that weight come off my shoulders and off my heart to see my brother standing right there, knowing that he was okay. Ryan is right beside me. He's okay. And Mom got this big meal prepared for us, and we're here, we're done. And I would say I made both my parents and my grandmother proud. Today is September 23rd, be exactly 2 years from the day she passed.
You guys haven't seen the plaque. I had put grandmother on it.
It's sort of like a family reunion, coming all together again.
I remember all the strength and the courage that she gave me.
All the fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and broccoli.
My life could be totally different today. I could have lost not only my mother, but also my 3 sons.
This whole experience has given me a special compassion for my family. I kiss my mom, tell her I love her. My brothers, you know, I tell them, hey man, I love you. He was like, I love you too. You know, it sounds sort of weird, but that's just how it is.